Episode number next. I'm Matt.
I'm Amy.
Distracted.
Yep.
Welcome to the show.
I don't even have my mic.
She got school stuff going on, y'all.
Sorry. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. Tonight is just an AMA. I'm going to answer questions. We do one of these about once every 6 weeks or so. It's been a while since we did a question. And so, a question show. So that's kind of the idea. I'll answer some common questions that we get. And then if you have any questions, please just put a Q in there and ask away. Anything, woodworking, YouTube, life, marriage, whatever. We'll try to answer anything you got. In the meantime, was it?
None.
In the meantime, this is our sawdust spotlight for the week. And this is awesome. Randy Connolly, a Pete logging truck and a K&W lumbering truck. Look at that. Look at the detail in a wooden truck.
And that one kind of speaks to my heart because,
yeah, it does.
Hey, guess what my daddy did for a living?
Yep.
What?
He was a truck driver.
He was a trucker.
That looks awesome. Good job, man.
So,
be sure and drop your states, too. Mail call.
Mail call. What's up, Jamie McFarland? I like the way you say that.
All right, so
he can't hold on to anything over here, y'all. He hands everything.
Mr. David Wright is in Alaska, Fairbanks, Alaska. 907 Woodcraft sent us a sticker. Thank you, man. We'll get you 1 cent back. We appreciate that.
What?
If you watched the stream last week, you know Mr. Eric and his son made us a sign. And, well, I picked the sign up today from the post office. I didn't realize it was at the post office. He said it's at your P.O., and I thought it was going to be delivered like the next day. No, it was in the post office box. I forget we have one of those sometimes.
You know, when you live in a small town and all.
Check that out, y'all. I'm trying to find it right there. It is, man, it's thick. Check that out. Just the detail, just the craftsmanship. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful work, man. Thank you. That's going to go, I'm hoping that, so I'm redoing my miter station. On the wall behind the miter station, I'm going to have some organization. I want that front and center. So that's where that's going to go, I think.
So, I don't know if you've said it because I am a little bit distracted. I've got some stuff going on right now. If we haven't said it, make sure you drop those states. We will give you a shout out in a moment. And because we loved her so much last time. I've got some stuff going on with work right now, so I have to actually step out and make a phone call. So we're going to let my mini-me step in and start checking those states off. But I do want to be in here for this really quick, and then we're going to switch out.
All right, so if you remember a few weeks ago, we posted a desk build, right? And one of the reasons or one of the causes behind that was to raise awareness for autism. And Colonel Coate of the Maine State Police, me and him's we go way back to October of 20. I looked today is when he first reached out to me, and I was still a trooper then. He sent me a Maine State Police license plate. You've seen it in the background of the videos under the miter station. He saw the video, and their agency actually raised money this year for autism awareness. When he saw the video in the letter, he said, I took that as a God wink. Wink, wink. And so he had another plate made for me, or maybe it was on a unit. I'm not sure. They only had a limited number of these. Anyway, check this out. This is a Maine State Police license plate with Autism Society on there and Doug Flutie Jr. Foundation on the left. And that's what they raised money for this year. And they have stickers and then also official patches
super
with
cool.
autism.
Super
Colonel,
cool.
I can't thank you enough. I sent him a tearful message in a video. And I showed it to her. And it was just, when I opened the package up, I saw the license plate. I was like, yes, another one. But when I saw what it was, man, sawdust was in my eyes. So that one will be in the shop too. I've got a couple more state police tags. I got a Utah one, and I got one more, a Kentucky one that's got to go up in the shop. I'm trying to wait till I redo everything to get them up so that they're not messed up. If you're not in one of those states and you know a trooper who has a tag with 731 on it, I'm your guy. I'd love to have all 50. So, again, tonight we're just going to answer questions. And what you got? Let me know. One of the most common questions I get is jointer or planer first. I've kind of gone back and forth on that. I think a jointer, if you're looking to get into woodworking, a jointer is going to help you edge joint, and then you can also face joint with that. From there, you can pretty much make do without a planer for most things, especially because you can buy most of your lumber surfaced at least 2 sides, most of the time 3 sides. So you'll be able to get away with that, especially if you have a table saw. Oh, there we go. Michael Wilson says, first time Q&A. Asks you to recommend a planer, thickness planer combo for started woodworking on a tight budget. I would look at the Win model or the Wahuda. I've got a Wahuda jointer. I'm a fan of it. I like it a lot. And then if you can look at, they've got some planers as well, like 13-inch planers as well. It's your turn.
What?
It's your turn.
What was the question?
Oh, I thought you were paying attention.
I'm writing states.
J2 Underwood, should I buy a big bandsaw? Yes. I tell you what, man, I got that Rikon in the shop, 3-4 weeks ago, and I can't quit using it. Like little things, like I would normally take it to the table saw or take it to the miter saw and cut it. The bandsaw is so much easier. It cuts so clean. I'm using it all the time. And then, of course, curves and profiles and things like that. Like it takes your woodworking up the next level. If you've ever woodworked without a table saw and then got a table saw, you know how much that leveled up things for you, how much easier things got for you. When you get a bandsaw, it's like that again. It's like getting that step up again. It's a lot of fun is what it is. Do you need it? No, but it's awesome. Jeff Allred says, would you pay $75 for a plexiglass template? If I needed one, I could. I sure would. Tell you what, those templates, he actually sent me a template that I'm going to be using to make some charcuterie boards with, and it's in the shape of a whale. If you saw the short we put out called Whale Overboard when Miss 731 unboxed it, he mailed me the template he uses for those, and so I'm going to be making some of those, and it just makes, and I also ordered the router bit, big old beast of a router bit that will follow that template around so that it makes it easier to cut out. I actually glued some up yesterday, so we're going to be ready to cut them out as soon as that gets here. Kevin R., yes, sir. We did have a great trip to Gravette. It was a Gravette, whatever. Old log and Sawmill. I had a good time up there visiting with Jake and his team. He's got an amazing setup, man. I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to have him on as a guest, and I'll tell you why. He started 4 years ago making farmhouse furniture. 4 years ago. When you see this video that we did, so what we did was I went up and did a video on his kiln system separately for iDry, and then I also did a video of his. I just done a shop tour with him. I was like, man, you got to show me around. He took a bandsaw or a bandsaw sawmill, and he started cutting green lumber. Right after he started making farmhouse furniture, he decided I want to make my own lumber, try to sell that. He bought that sawmill, and then from there, in 4 years, he has created a river table business, those epoxy river tables up there in Northwest Arkansas, and he's also just now, a few months ago, added this kiln system so he can dry boards or lumber, 2,500 to 4,000 square board feet in just a few weeks. And he's got slabs and all kinds of stuff. Like, it's just going to be cool.
I was not invited to go.
No, you wouldn't. Brad McNamara. Brad McNamara.
Oh.
You're going to take her out. Brad McNamara says, do you find the Rikon to be good for resawing? Can't seem to cut straight enough. Yes, you need a good thick blade. If you've got a good blade, everything's set up right, it'll do good. Mine has. It's done really well for me. I've resawed several times with it already. We got a dog getting sick. Any plans for a collab with another woodworker in the future? Maybe we got something working. I would like to do some more of those. Jake, maybe one of those. I just kind of done a shop tour with him. It's not really a collab as a project collab, but I do have something coming up hopefully in a couple of months we're working on. Actually, 2 somethings. Uh-oh. All right, Pepper7144. Now that Porter Cable no longer does not do routers, what is the go-to for a 3-horsepower router table? I would look into the Triton routers. They make amazingly powerful routers. I know someone that has one. Jeff Allred's on here, has a 3-horsepower Triton, and he's flattening things with it and just going to town with it. This is a really good router. Hart's Hog, where can you find good quality wood without going broke? Man, I don't know. Everything's high. I mean, everything's up. But if you keep an eye on Woodcraft and Rockler and even Woodpeckers, those websites, they run regular sales on their lumber. You can get Purple Heart for 50% off sometimes. Like, you just got to keep an eye on it. I sign up for their emails, and they usually email those out when they're having those sales. It's a good way to pick up, especially like 3/4 inch stock, maybe 3 foot, 4 foot long, 4 to 6 inches wide. I mean, plenty enough to make cutting boards and mallets and things like that out of. Belt sander, no belt sander. Should I take the leap? Nope. What you should do is get a Rotex or a Merca or something like that. You will not need a belt sander if you get one of the big 6-inch big sanders, gear driven sanders. I think Makita's got one. I just got the Rotex in a few weeks ago, and I've actually got a video coming out on that Thursday if you want to watch that. But you won't need a belt sander if you have one of those, and it can do finish sanding, so it's kind of the best of both worlds. That's what I would do. I wouldn't spend my money on a belt sander. Belt sander to me is I have one, and I still got it. I haven't used it in years, but it leaves really long, bad stripes in your wood, and then you have to sand that all back off with an orbital sander. And yeah, it's removing the material, but it's also causing you a ton of work. Whereas with something like the 6-inch gear-driven sanders, Merca, Rotex, I don't know if Makita's is gear-driven. It probably is, but something to look into. But it won't do that. It won't cause all that problem. Do you do any engraving or CNC work? Yep, I got a CNC. I use it fairly regularly and make all kinds of good stuff. Trays and mallets and all kinds of stuff. It's good. It's good. Have you ever thought about buying a sawmill, or would it be beneficial to a small woodworker? I personally haven't, but like I said, if you missed it, up there at Old Loggin Sawmill, go to Old Loggin. Just Google OL Loggin, Loggin Sawmill in Arkansas. You'll see his website. He started out with a bandsaw sawmill and he now has his own kiln that he's drying wood. In 4 years, he is just wearing it out, man. He's doing good. But yeah, if you're interested in that sort of thing, there's obviously a market for it. He's shipping nationwide and doing well for himself. If I missed your question, just go ahead and hit the Q again and then put it up there so I can see it, because I may have missed it. Do you plan on doing bow tie inserts in the future, catching up on your videos? Maybe. I could see where I would do one if the opportunity arose and I needed to, if I was building a table or something like that. I mean, if it comes along, I will. Follow up from a minute ago. I'd love advice on buying wood online. I know nothing about it, but need options and opinions. Woodcraft, stuff like that. Usually WTGhardwoods.com, they sell as well and ship. All that usually comes surfaced at least 3 sides, so you'll get smooth, flat boards for the most part. So you won't have to do a whole lot of milling. So you're not going to need a planer and things like that unless you're getting them all to the same thickness. Say if you bought maple and walnut, you're just going to make some cutting boards, you would want a planer to plane them all down to get them really close to the same thickness or exactly the same thickness. So when you glue them up, it's a bunch less work on you. Miss Stephanie, Miss Charlie started running fever today. We took her to the vet, and then she got some medicine like right before the show, and then it come back up. So she's just not feeling well. Charlie's our dog. Huh? From Flooded Canada here. Saw your vid on the tub saw for Amy and tub table. Sorry, and you couldn't find the drill press chuck. Have you ever considered putting a couple of zip ties? I actually have a magnet up there, and that's what I was looking for. I was like, "Where's my chuck?" Because the magnet's on the side of it. But inevitably, every time I use it, I don't stick it back to the magnet. I just drop it, and it's laying on the workbench there. But yeah, a zip tie would be handy for sure. This weekend, my daughter's getting married in 4 weeks. Congratulations. This weekend, she asked me to make a keepsake box. I can engrave or do a CNC sentiment on it. Can anyone help me? Anybody help Greg out? Let him know. Andy Bird Builds maybe can help you out. Search him on YouTube or Instagram and see if he can help you out in any way. Have you considered a laser married man? Yes, I have. I want one pretty bad, and I just don't know. I don't know where I'd put it. I mean, this room's full. The shop's full. I know they have to have ventilation. I haven't. I'm gonna be honest with you. I get reached out to from companies that it's like, I don't even remember their names, but like 2 or 3 times a week, you get those 2 a.m. emails, 3 a.m. emails you wake up to that they're wanting to send you their laser, the latest and greatest, and it's broken English. And I'm like, So I haven't really like researched lasers, but from what I've watched on Glowforge, I know nothing about this stuff. Okay, so don't take anything I say seriously. But from what I've seen on Glowforge is they're really simple to make. So you can take like a cutting board and set in there and just tell it what design you want on there, and it just kind of squares everything up for you so it doesn't get put on there crooked, and then it just pops it on there, and it looks awesome.
So did we have a rough moment?
Yeah, she got sick.
Oh, bless it. Okay.
How's the plans coming on the miter stall station coming? How's the plans for your miter stall station coming? So I haven't started the plans. However, next week I hope to start the build process, and what that's going to look like on the channel is it's going to be in a 2 or 3 part video series. The first part's going to be removing the old system or the old miter station out and getting all that cleaned up, which in the video timeline, it's only going to take a minute or 2 to take that off on video. And then the wall behind that is where a lot of the shine's going to be. And so I don't want cabinets up there. I personally don't care for that look. And I don't know. I just don't like
Hey,
the
Miss
look.
Tammy.
So what I want to do is put some type of wall organization on the back on the wall back there so that all my stuff gets organized and it looks neat and clean and this looks more professional. It's kind of, I want it to look more professional in the background. So that will be the first video. And then the second video will be the miter station build. If it takes 2 videos, then there will be 2 videos. I don't think it will, because it's only going to be like a 6 foot long miter station, because I don't want one to be really huge.
What ought I miss?
A bunch of questions. You have to go back and watch the replay. Donald Dickey says, I have a Glowforge and it's great for small stuff. There you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
goodness.
Dylan's calling you now.
Oh, my goodness.
You got to tell him you can't talk.
Our oldest son is trying to FaceTime me.
Do you have any tips for developing a small shop tool arrangement and storage method?
Oh, goodness. Dylan.
Man, there's Weber. Is it Weber? It's Weber something on YouTube. He has a very small shop. I'm almost certain it's him. Go watch him. He has like the most organized small shop I've ever seen. I'm almost certain it's Weber. I can see his logo in my mind right now. Go check him out. I think y'all know who I'm talking about. But he has like his organization is next level, and I think that'll help you out.
Dylan, forget about our live show.
Lost in the Garage says 2 questions. What is a project you have not yet done but you really want to? And what is a project you have done you wish you hadn't? So one that
That's a good one.
the one that I wish I hadn't is the floors. We wish we'd have hired those.
Oh, yeah.
We were able to do it, but man, it was in a lot of work and time, and that's just one thing we didn't have. But and it's not really a woodworking project, but after we got started, we're like, oh no, why didn't we hire this done? And then one that I haven't done that I want to do, I want to build a miter station, and I want to.
Did you get too hot, baby?
I don't know. I think I've already built a miter station, but it wasn't the one I wanted, kind of thing. I built the one that I could at the time with my skill level and my budget.
Well, somebody says also ever make a grill stand for a patio or deck, and that's something that you do want to.
Yep, that's one of the projects we talked about. We want to extend the deck a little bit, like make a little wing off of it and put the grill on it with a little grill station, like almost an outdoor kitchen, but we have a pellet grill, so that's what we'll be using. Mm-hmm. And so Mr. Scott Ball is extremely kind enough to give that to us a couple of years ago. So that's another good project. It's a little too hot now. Should have done that a month ago. Huh?
Yeah, it's done got really hot now. It's hot.
Brandon
right
Sunco says, how hard is it getting started with CNC? I'm looking to take the leap, but nervous due to not knowing. So it was challenging. I mean, it's challenging.
To say the least.
However, I will say, and take this with a grain of salt, because Shapeoko is a sponsor of the channel. They sponsored a few videos, and they gave me my CNC. So whatever it means to you. However, if you go to my.carbide3d.com, they have a like training right there, free training that wasn't there when I got mine. And they have since added this stuff. Excellent stuff. Excellent information. It's broken down in small bite-sized pieces. You can go through and you can do it now. You don't have to buy anything they got. It's just go like create an account and go to watching. It teaches you how to run the software. It teaches you how to run the CNC, how to make 5 different projects. Like all that stuff wasn't there when I got mine. And now that that stuff's there, I've went back and watched several things and learned a few things I didn't know already. So it's a good resource anyway. Even if you don't buy from them, I like my Shapeoko, but it's good information.
Scruffy Santa's asking a hard
Hey,
question.
Scruffy.
What is Miss Amy's favorite project?
What
That's
is
a
it?
hard question.
Which one?
But that one's so hard.
Which one is it?
It's a super hard question.
She don't have a favorite.
Oh
It's
my
like
gosh.
kids. She don't have favorites.
Oh, Charlie. The dogs are my favorite, but
While she thinks, Cullen, we got the Rec Tech, and we love it too. They're so easy to use. I got ribs we're gonna throw on there tomorrow. I'll put some Rec Tech. What's that stuff you like? What's the name of that?
oh,
seasoning?
heifer dust.
Heifer dust.
Heifer dust is
we'll season
great.
those. It's a rub. Put that heifer dust on there, and put those on the grill. Do the 3-2-1 method. Awesome. They're awesome and easy. Like set it and forget it kind of thing.
I have no idea which one's my favorite. I really like my little deer.
Hey, Rich man, we'll be praying for
I
you.
don't know which one's my
We'll
favorite.
be praying for you, man.
Big projects. I think my favorite big project is the coffee bar.
Yeah, that's
Big
one of
project.
my favorites as far as the way it looks, the way it come out. Like we use it
Big project.
every day, obviously, making coffee, but it just looks cool.
Yeah. Big project. I think
It's hard
that
to.
one is my favorite.
I don't think the video. Well, I need to
the
change
video
camera.
didn't do that one justice
It didn't do
to
it
me.
justice, and had. I think if I'd done the video over, I could do a little better job of portraying what it looks like. But
But I
it
think
looks good.
so. I have different kind of levels of favorite. I think for my use, the coffee bar is my favorite. But I think that I think Mackenzie's dresser is the most, I hate to say it this way, but the most glamorous project
Mhm.
he's ever made. I think it was the most glamorous.
It's glam.
It's glam.
Aaron
Glam
Renwick says
farmhouse.
just started his own woodworking business and it's taken off. Congratulations. Any advice on how to deal with it? Yeah. So figure out quickly how to streamline your processes as much as possible. Look at Devo. Is it Devo Woodcraft or something like that, where he made a cutting board business overnight or whatever? If you watch that video, you'll see he quickly come up with a process to batch out these cutting boards because he got so many so fast and turned it into a full-time business. So the faster you can basically get into production type thing, the better off you'll be. And hire an accountant now, not later.
Yes. Do that. Do that. Do that. Quickly.
Harder question: Bar Harbor or Gig Harbor road trip? I don't know where Gig Harbor is, and it's Bar Harbor, not Bar Harbor. Bar Harbor. Is that how they
Oh,
say
thank
it
you,
in
Georgia Peach. Michelle Kojal says, what is Miss Amy's project going to be? And your My Hero video, you guys looked great, by the way.
Thank you.
That video was so unplanned. It was silly. It was so unplanned. It was so unprepared. And what's so bad is that I tell my students to be prepared to prepare a good project, and then I did that in like an hour.
So if
But,
you don't know,
yeah.
I have a personal YouTube channel called Matt Outlaw. You can just youtube.com/Matt Outlaw. She invited me to come up to speak to her 8th grade class.
Because they needed an example of how to do a project. And
Yeah.
I wanted them to put
And
time
so it's not
into
really
it.
a project, it's more of an interview of her to me, or
Yeah.
me telling my life story kind of in a nutshell. And then also on that channel, I do inspirational
Mm-hmm.
tips and some business tips and things like that. Stuff that's not woodworking related, we're putting over there. Anyway, if you want to check that out.
Oh, Rich, I'm so sorry to hear that. He said, don't usually ask for
I've already
prayers.
done that.
I know, but I didn't hear that. Said his 3-year-old has it though.
So Pete
That's
Ferguson,
terrible.
what's the 3-2? I'm sorry. I apologize. I told him we was praying for him.
But that's terrible.
It's awful.
3-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
It kicked your butt.
Yeah, it's bad.
3-year-old.
COVID sucks.
I'm so sorry. I come in late.
Pete
on
Ferguson
everything.
says, what's the 3-2-1 method? 3-2-1 method, if you search 3-2-1 rib method, you'll see it. It's basically you cook it 3 hours open, and then you wrap them in foil for 2 hours, and then you unwrap them, and then finish them up for an hour. So when you wrap them, it basically finishes them cooking. They'll be like fall off the bone.
David, the iPad has not fell in the tub yet,
Somebody said they was worried about that.
but that is the best Mother's Day gift.
She likes it.
Oh,
I was a little concerned because I didn't know if she was going to like that or not. She says she talked about them before. I've never.
I looked those up
you know,
for one time.
I don't know if she told me about it or if I wasn't
I
listening or
didn't.
whatever.
No, I never told you about that. That was way back before you did woodworking. I looked those up years ago. We couldn't afford them back when I looked up. They were really expensive for the really good ones. I looked those up years ago.
But she liked it, and I was happy. She's happy.
Oh, I love it. Of course, and we sent Mackenzie to get some bubble bath, and all they had was the Mr. Bubble, the bright pink, like the bubble gum color, bright pink. That's all they had available, and so it makes you feel, like you're 4. But it's okay. I'm gonna order me like some really, grown up people looking bubble bath for it. That's funny.
Kevin R says, "Did you ever decide on a new miter saw?" No. I was going back and forth between the Bosch and the Makita. I started leaning heavily toward the Makita, and then I keep looking at the Festool. I really do, and I don't know, but it's the 10-inch, and I want a 12-inch. I'm probably going to get the Makita. I'm like 90% sure I'm going to get the Makita. Probably.
Dylan's watching Charlie. Your Bubba's watching you.
Matt Moses says, could you distinguish the difference between Matt's and Mrs. 731's role in the business? So right now, she's teaching school full time. She's going to get sick again.
Are you okay?
So right now, typically I do the videoing, the projects and stuff like that. She's handling all the bookkeeping side of that. So everything that the accountant's going to need, she's handling all that. Invoicing, like all the stuff that I'm not good at all. And she keeps all that stuff as well as like the shipping stuff, keeps all that organized. And we have little survival kits that we send out with every order that goes in there. She keeps all those in there. They're little packets with little niceties and stuff that kind of make you smile, stuff like that. So that's kind of what she's doing right now. Hopefully in a year, she'll come on full time and then she'll be able to start doing even more.
Are you okay? She's not feeling too great tonight.
Clearcut says Etsy's a scam. $5 ad fees a day and rarely any
Send
real
it
estate.
Epsom salts.
I don't know. I have success with Etsy. I've had real good success with Etsy, and I don't know. You get the right product, people will buy it, type thing. And yeah, they do charge ads. Even if you don't have ads on there, they're using Google ads or something that you still have to pay for, and it comes out of your profit. But I mean, it's the only place out there like that has that much traffic. So, Low Fat Logan says, "Do you have a specific time you like posting on social media more than others? Trying to work up, be more of an artistic brand icon for my projects." Yeah, early morning does well for me on Instagram, 6, 7, 8 o'clock. If you go into your Instagram analytics, it'll show the peak time your people are, or the people that follow you are on. Mine's like from 9 to 12, so I usually post somewhere in that area. YouTube, it depends on the day. So like Sunday, 9 a.m. is when we'll release our videos because that's right before the main traffic that comes to our channel. And that's also in your analytics. And then on Thursdays, we post another video at 11 a.m. And the reason for that is they come on later on Thursdays. And Friday's even later. We don't post on Friday. On shorts, I don't, when I post a YouTube short, I don't really think too much about the traffic there. So,
what are you doing?
Super chat. Thank you.
What are you doing, baby? Oh, I see what happened.
What happened? Thank you, Clark. Man, he's making a custom dresser.
All right. We'll get it in a minute. It's all right.
Basically, Ampty Woodwork says, "Do you ever feel like the market is flooded with basic woodworking projects and affect your sales?" It can. It did happen here on me, and until we come across the stove cover, she came up with stove cover. Nobody else was doing that, and they did very well for us. You just have to kind of find your market, and sometimes that's the case. You start woodworking, you start with basic stuff, cutting boards and stuff like that, and everybody's making them, and you just got to differentiate yourself somehow, whether that be with different styles, different materials, or different projects. So if there's make something everybody else ain't making.
Prayers, Mr. Clark. Heart procedures are not fun.
No.
His dad had some of those
Quadruple
done.
bypass.
Yeah. Dr. Teal's Epsom salt with coconut oil. That sounds good. Do you listen to music while working in the garage? If so, what is your garage music?
So it varies. from day to day.
He
Some
don't
days
just listen. He puts on
I
a
sang,
show.
y'all. I sang. Boy,
Sing it, Lionel.
tell you what, George Strait wouldn't have nothing on me if I could sing like I
Wow.
thought I could. If usually country music most of the time and Christian music. So it's pretty much what I listen to. And then there's days where it's going to be Metallica or some type of heavy metal that I'm going to be listening to. And it just depends on the mood, really. But
Okay. We got problems, Daddy. Daddy, we got problems.
shit, Dylan, come over and watch her.
I know. Dylan's watching her through here.
Well, that ain't no good for her.
I know. Your Bubba's watching you.
Mike Clark says, I have the Bosch. Go with the Makita. Why? Thank you. But why? What's bad? What do you not like about the Bosch? Yeah, Brandon, he says everyone's saying the Capex overpriced. I agree. I don't.
Yeah,
I love.
Becca, it's
I
pretty
love
rough.
Festool.
Hey,
Everything
hey,
else.
hey.
What's up?
You know what time it is?
Power tip time.
Power tip time.
Yeah. What's your power tip?
What's yours?
Oh.
I've been in and out of the room. What's your power tip?
Power tip is
Take care of Charlie.
not be afraid to network.
That's
So
a good,
I
that
met-
actually is a good power tip.
Thank you. So I met Jake from Old Logging, and I'm a very recluse
I liked
person.
his energy.
Yeah, he's high energy.
I really did like. Oh, he's talented too.
Oh, he's very talented. So I'm very recluse. Believe it or not, I don't get out much. I don't talk to a whole lot of people, and staying in this bubble is good for getting work done, but it's not good for getting to know people and network and just talk to people in the craft or in your area or in your line of work, so that you can work together and try to come to either help each other out or just see their work and get inspired by that. Man, I'm telling you, we got up there and I got to see some of those charcuterie board things he's making. He's got kits that he sells. And I was like, man, I got to have one of them kits. And so we got one of the kits, and I'm going to be doing one of those. And I don't know, I'm excited to do that. Like that kind of stuff, you
Hey,
get
Miss
to kind
Ann.
of see new stuff. And just don't be afraid to network. Get out and kind of shake each other's hands and get to know each other and help each other out.
That is something he actually was very scared of for a very long time.
Yeah, I don't talk to you.
He was really scared to network. And what's really bad is if we go somewhere business related, the woodworking type stuff, I'm actually the one that will be the recluse and move away now. And he's the one that's like, come on, we need to kind of network.
Mingle. We need to mingle.
We got to mingle. We got to mingle. And I'm the one that will kind of pull away now. Are you okay? Oh, gosh.
What happened?
All this.
No. Alex Hilliard says, would you have a suggestion on a brand of miter bar for making jigs for a CrossFit sled? Micro Jig makes one that's a 0 something. You can really get it dialed in. I haven't used it. I've got one out there. It's still in the package. I've never used it. I've always just cut hardwood strips. A lot of people use that UHMW plastic for that also, that you can cut to the exact width because that won't expand or contract. But Micro Jig's the only one I know of. There may be some other ones.
Miss Ann, we are all feeling so much better. Well,
all of us except Charlie.
this one, she's having a bit of a rough time, but we're feeling better. She's just persistent.
Max Diamond Guy says, how important is a drill press? I know you have a win. Would you buy it or a drill and driver set? A drill press is a nicety. It's not a necessity. In other words, it makes things a little bit easier and it's just more convenient sometimes to drill cleaner holes, but it's not necessary. It's one of those things that it's good to have, but you don't need it. You'll get one later if your work progresses.
David Johnson says, hello, Matt and Mrs. Matt. You know what's funny about that? Whenever her kids were little, they said Mama Matt and Papa Matt. That was funny. They were like their real grandparents, and they called them Mama Matt and Papa Matt. Yeah. Instead of Mama and Papa, it was Mama Matt and Papa Matt. And Bubba must have not liked what he saw on camera. Our oldest son just pulled up. He did not like what he saw on camera.
It says, PJ says, is there any kind of soft pads for 5-inch sanders that will go around curves? There are soft pads. I've got one. I think I showed it on, was it the Festool sander dust combination video? Maybe. I don't remember. But there's a 5-inch squish pad sander. I actually used it on her bath bar. It's linked in that description, and where you can sand on the curves and it won't tear things up. And it'll fit any 5-inch orbital sander.
Where I'm from, it would be Mrs. Amy and Mr. Amy. That's funny. Our kids, the way they would keep their grandparents separated, my mother lived in Monticello where we live now, and so they called her Mama Monticello. They still call her that, and she hates it. Of course, I never see her, but they still will say Mama Monticello.
Yeah.
Dylan, you can get her. Here.
I'm going to pass her off to her big brother.
Just be careful because that stuff's everywhere. Don't let her get in it.
Ciabo says, is there any way to get a nice paint finish on cabinet doors without a paint sprayer? Yeah, you can. It's going to be hard, but you can. Just get a good self-leveling paint, and it'll help tons.
Mo said, look at the chat. Mo, that's rude. Oh, that's funny. See, the oldest son, he doesn't show up unless it's for the dog. She's not feeling great. I had to take her to the vet earlier, and Dylan, the oldest one, he lives actually across the street from the vet, and so when I got there, he had walked over and was waiting for me. So he stayed at the vet with me.
Benjamin Walker says, what's your advice for someone thinking about giving up woodworking because he hasn't been able to successfully make anything bigger than the small step stool? Man, if you enjoy doing it, keep doing it. If you don't enjoy doing it, it's okay. Sometimes there's things I've tried and didn't enjoy, David. And then you stop doing those things. It's like somebody that runs, right? If you don't like running, it's going to be very difficult to make yourself get out there and run. If you don't like building things, it's going to be difficult. Now, if you enjoy the process and you're just not coming up successful with it, just enjoy the process until things start working, because eventually something will click. You'll find something you like building. So I encourage you to keep trying if you enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, it's perfectly fine to say, that's just not for me.
Stephanie, what's funny about that is that Charlie actually does have her own YouTube channel. We just haven't got it started, but she actually does already have it. We've got the name of it and everything. David Johnson said, don't take the dog away.
Yeah, star of the show.
David, it's a girl, but he said he's the star of the show. Mm-hmm. We have a YouTube channel for her because she's a 4-legged dog, but a 3-legged dog. Mm-hmm. She's got all 4 legs, but she only has use of 3 of them because one, it's a long story. But anyway, the plan is for her to actually be her own little YouTube star. Because, if anybody can do it, she can. It's okay, Dave. Everybody calls her a boy because of her name, Charlie. And she uses a boy blanket because she stole it from the boy dog. So it's okay. She's got a boy name. Yeah. So
Kent says, your YouTube thumbnails look great. Thank you. Nicely designed. What's your editing process and software? Are you doing it all? Video editing, graphics, etc. Farming is some of it out. So some of it, about 9 or 10 months ago, maybe a year. I don't think it was quite a year. I hired a company to do some of the thumbnails, and they do most of them. And then but there are some that they'll do, and I'm like, and then I'll do a different one.
Thank you,
and
Stephanie.
So most of the live stream videos, I do the thumbnails on those, and you can kind of see that. And then some like the Home Depot secrets, I did that one. There's a few others that I'll do. For the most part, I try to farm them out and let them do them because I stress to death over them. You ask her, I just sit and stress, and I can't figure it out. I'm like, the video editing, I do right now 1 video a week, and I have someone else doing another video a week.
Stephanie, I was actually going to text you and Becca today after work. I come home, I was going to text both of y'all, and I knew Charlie wasn't feeling well and took off to the vet with her. I was going to text both of y'all. But she is adorbs. She is. Stephanie's got some adorbs, baby, too. Her pups. Have to realize there's never been a perfect project. Yep.
We all make mistakes. Everyone.
So,
breathing real hard.
I was like,
you can't hear it.
No, I was like, I was thinking about it though. Sorry. I was like huffing. I was thinking about it because of what he said. Because so the game that we were doing today in my classroom, one of the clues, well, one of the words that was on the board several times was the word perfect. And I got to thinking about what he just said. It says there's never been a perfect project. Every maker can point out every flaw in every one of their projects. Made me think about you. Because you point out every flaw. Like he will nitpick. I don't know how many of y'all do that, but he will nitpick like everything. And so every time one of the students would have to give a clue to make them. It's sort of like that game Headbands where you have the you have the thing. They would say every time they would have to make the person guess the word perfect, they would always say, none of us are this, none of us are this, none of us are this. And I loved that. I thought that was great. So that's why I was doing that. Made me think about that.
Don Patterson says, what video editing software to use? I use Final Cut Pro. I have used DaVinci Resolve in the past. CapCut on the iPhone. I use that for Instagram Reels and things.
Hey, Burn Studio. Says, Miss Outlaw, Mr. Outlaw, evening. Got a surprise in the mail today and headed your way. Quick question. Do you know of any dust repellent application to use in the shop for speakers, TV, etc.?
I don't.
I can put these on now that Charlie's down.
I don't know. I have not thought about that. If anybody knows, let me know in the chat.
And then I missed some stuff.
David Corliss, is there any antique woodworking tool you would like to own or just use once? Man, I don't know.
Ooh.
I don't know. I think some of those old hand planes look really cool. I wouldn't use them, but they just look cool, you know.
Jeff Allred says, in case Spinderella watches the rerun, I don't have a Festool 1400 router and Father's Day is coming.
That's funny.
Steph said that Spike was at the vet yesterday, had bad swelling under his eye. Turns out he has a bad tooth and a heart murmur. The man, that's really bad when they swell up from a tooth and it swells into their eye. Zeus had that happen.
Yep.
He had a abscess in his eye swelled. That's awful. So sorry to hear that.
H2 Woodshop says, what's the next build? Miter Station. It's coming up pretty quick. Probably starting next week.
R.H. Harley has been a member of our Wumba 6 supporter for 14 months. He says 13, but says 14 months. He said blue by Sofa.
Thank you, brother. How's that weather up there in Canada, eh? How do you feel about mixing woodworking and upholstery? I think it's awesome if you can do it. And upholstery is another skill. I mean, there's a lot of people that do that and mix those things together and make some really cool work.
Becca said it flew right past me. Oh, Becca said, as makers, we know where it went wrong or slipped or nicked, smeared, etc. We are our own downfall.
Yep. All the time. Southern Joe's, what CNC software package you use? I'm using Carbide Create Pro right now. It's like, what, $100 a year or $100? I don't remember. I paid $100 for it. I don't know if it's an annual thing or not. That's what I'm using. I'm not gotten into some like super detailed stuff, so it's working for me.
Mo, go ahead and bring him to me because I know he's been in there screaming. So you can let me have him for a little bit.
Jason Priestler says, any recommendations on a battery-operated miter saw that can cut 12-inch crosscuts? Man, I don't know. I know that, is it who just come out with one? I just saw it. Man, it's Festool. Never mind. They just come out with a battery power. I think Milwaukee. Does Milwaukee make one?
Chubby Beaver Woodworks. I can't even say it right. Did you reach out to Omniwall for a collaboration?
I've been in talks with a couple of wall organization companies. Yeah, and so I've talked to Omniwall. I've talked
More
to
is coming.
Wall Control.
Thank you, James Tubbs. He says good job.
Still working on that.
It's a
super chat.
Makita 36-volt miter saw. Check that out. Go check that out. That's I figured somebody would know. Metabo has one also. Makita.
Jeez, they're screaming. Boy. This is the boy.
Jackson, when you're using, if you're using Titebond, they're all food safe glue. So you don't have to worry about that. Titebond 3 is best because it's waterproof. That's what I would recommend using on your cutting boards.
Gotta behave.
And it's inexpensive.
Behave.
He's wanting down now.
Well, rottenness. What a rottenness. I love you.
He's just...
He's so handsome. He's such a good boy. He's wagging his tail because he's happy.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, PLC Woodcrafts.
If you thump him, you'll know he's right.
You love the video showing the packaging and labels. Now, that's something we're trying to do is to I don't know what to call it. I want it to be better branded, and when somebody gets something from 731, that it comes in a better package than just a brown envelope or a black envelope or a brown box. We want something that when you see it, you know it's ours, and you're like, oh yeah, it's here. You know, whatever you've ordered. And that's one thing we're trying to do also is to get more physical products on the store that we're making here for people to buy, because that's something we've had requests for. People like the plans, and they're awesome that they can go to the store and get the woodworking plans so that they can build some awesome stuff. And speaking of, if you go to our store tonight and use the code LIVESTREAM, you'll save 20% on any order. But we want to get more physical products there, and while shipping physical products, it gives us a couple opportunities for us to do something. Okay, it's not just to sell somebody a piece of good. One, it is we can provide them with something they want, and hopefully that they'll use and love. But we also include a little survival kit. Inside the survival kit, we put $1 million question in there. And the $1 million question is, will you go to heaven when you die? And so that's kind of the way for us to spread the gospel through a product. And that gives us an opportunity to witness to someone who may not ever have had that question asked and explained to them in detail. So it's a good way to do that. And livingwaters.com sells the $1 million question. It's a $1 million bill. I need to get up and get one.
Okay. Brandon Adams says, my dog is the best doorbell I never had to install. He's over here talking all serious and stuff, and I'm just laughing at that. Oh, that's funny.
Did y'all hear me making a bunch of racket?
Yeah, you always do. I live with you. I know how much racket you make.
So they look like this. Hide your face.
Oh my gosh, you always tell me to hide my face.
It's a $1 million bill, right? And then on the back, hide your face. For real, hide your face.
Oh my goodness. I'm starting to wonder why you always tell me to hide my face. I'm starting to get a little bit concerned about that.
She's like, why do we do that when we're driving down the road, though?
Oh my goodness.
One of those, plus many other things. She's come up with a survival kit. There's, what else is there? A Tootsie Roll,
why are you
erasers,
giving away all my stuff? Okay.
all kinds of stuff she's come
The
up with.
erasers are really tiny because your mistakes should be thought of as being small.
Yep, that's right.
But they're really cute, too. I tried to pick the cutest little erasers I could find.
Yep.
A lot of thought went into my survival kit, y'all. But I was so... I won't even go into that. Never mind. Never mind. Get off my survival kit. Just get away from it.
No, Nevo says, if and when you use oil finishes, which can take weeks to dry, how do you should you store them so they don't get covered in sawdust? Man, you're going to have to find a dust-free place. So that's one of the mistakes I made when I done my workbench was I actually used Danish oil, and I regretted it. The instant I put it on there, I should have used Odie's or even board butter would have worked better. Danish oil takes forever to dry, especially in high humidity, which is what it was August when I built it, July when I built it. It was really hot, really humid. I didn't have air conditioning in there, so it took like 7 days, and it got covered in dust. And dust-free environment's best. I'd recommend not using that type of stuff if you can. So like Osmo, Rubio, hard wax oil finishes, they dry really quick. So within a couple of hours, and you don't have to worry about that, and the finish looks phenomenal.
Miss Cheryl, I don't know how long it's been since you've been with us. I don't know how to look. I know you've been with us a very long time. You're just family. So. That's all we know, Miss Cheryl. I don't know. Yep. I don't know how to look at that.
I can look at it on the thing.
I think we tried to look at it one time, though.
Yeah, I think
something.
I'm not sure. Stephanie says, do we have a Facebook community? We do. It's facebook.com/groups // 731 Woodworks. Groups /731 Woodworks.
Coda.
Now he's crying.
Well, come in. He wants up here. Well, come on. Come on with your cute little self. Come on. Come on, I'll hold you.
If I missed you,
come on.
Hit that cue. All in water-based stain, which do you use is easier? Which do you feel is easier? Water-based stain is by far easier to use because, for one, it dries much faster. I think that oil-based stains a lot of times give a better look or a deeper color, but you can use water-based.
Brad B said, isn't there a woodworking motto that everyone makes mistakes, but the masters are just better at hiding their mistakes?
That's right.
I like that.
Yeah, that's right.
Would you quit?
You gonna make a GB bath board for
Becca.
great big boys for Father's Day? You don't need a candle. You need a 44-ounce lemonade holder.
What?
Jeff
Oh my
Allred.
goodness. Oh, thank you, Aprilla. I don't know if I'm saying that right. This one is a mess. He is such a mess. Becca said, "That's the cutest. If you're the team mom, I'm definitely coming to see the snacks you're bringing. To see the snacks you're bringing."
Jackson, you didn't do anything wrong. He says he got oil-based stain. He can't get the smell out of the wood. It's so strong. What did he do wrong? He didn't do anything wrong. That's oil-based stain. It takes a while, like days, for that smell to dissipate. We've stained tons and tons of stuff, and it's just that's the kind of the nature of the beast. It just takes a long time for that smell to come out of there. You can clear coat it with some clear. You can even use water-based polyurethane on top of oil-based stain after it's been dry for about 24 hours. Then it'll help mask the odor or cover it up. What's up?
Said, "Do you need a new moderator since your current one doesn't know if you have a Facebook group?"
She's throwing shade. Throwing shade.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
I've never done mirror finishes. Grain filler.
That's so funny.
I've not ever used grain filler.
That's so funny. How do you stop water-based stain from streaking or having dry streaks when applying it with a paintbrush?
I've actually on water-based stain. I just use a rag. I just take put some gloves on, take your old rag, and just wipe.
Dylan said he got Charlie to sleep.
Good
deal. Oh, and then Mia starts barking.
Jason Priestler, have you ever worked with any Jatoba wood? I have not. I've got all kinds of stuff out there that I've been working with, but I've never used Jatoba.
You're so handsome. But you already know that, don't you?
As content creator, what portion of your income come from your channel alone? Probably.
Thank you, Uncle Hobby. I like your name.
A third, maybe less, as far as ad revenue goes. Maybe, give or take.
Oh, David, that's awful. Yeah, prayers. Says, pray for his wife. She's been having seizures ever since she got over having COVID and pneumonia. Man. Has she ever had seizures before? I wonder.
I'm sorry, man.
It's funny how seizures like that can be triggered by something. And seizures are, I don't know if any of y'all know anybody who's ever had seizures or if you've ever had seizures, but I've had students who have had them, and Charlie, our dog's had them, and in a person, a dog, anything, seizures are frightening to watch. We've had students with them, and I had a student several years ago who had them, and I'm not gonna lie, it scared me to death.
So she's never had them.
Scared me to death. They are so frightening. Like they're frightening. So prayers for that. It is very scary. Very, very scary.
Max Diamond Guy says, why would someone buy the DeWalt 13-inch planer over the 12.5-inch model? I think you're going to find the 12.5-inch model's motor isn't as strong.
It's crazy.
And when you start, especially wide boards on that, even the 13-inch 735, you have to take a tiny bite out of some of this hardwood because it's so hard and so dense that thing would be like, it'll just bog down. I've even thrown the internal breaker on that thing on even some ambrosia. It was a really wide ambrosia.
Prayers, PJ.
And so, yeah, you want the stronger motor. It basically is what you're buying.
PJ has an unspoken prayer request, so y'all pray for that.
Got you.
That's so crazy, though, that it triggered. Oh, that's crazy. We're going to go ahead and do our shout-out for our states. We have Germany, St. Martin, Alaska, Arkansas, California, Delaware, Georgia, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Maryland, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, New York, North Carolina, Ohio, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, Virginia. And did I forget any?
Canada.
I didn't see Canada on there. Maybe.
Well, RH is here.
Well, Mackenzie did some of these. Mo, you missed some. Arizona, Canada, Canada, All right. Got them on there. And we got House of Coda. House of Coda.
House of Coda. Colorado, Kansas.
Kansas, Colorado. Do you have neighbors real close to your workshop? If so, ever had noise complaints from working late into the night?
No, I haven't. And well, when I first started,
Canada,
we didn't have neighbors, and then there was a house built across the street and a house built right here.
Connecticut,
And
Idaho,
really,
South Dakota, Oregon.
I haven't had any complaints. I think one video a while back, I think it was an Etsy video or something. I was trying to make a video and
I
they were
remember
cutting the
that one.
grass over here, not
Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Florida.
I was going. I was getting so angry. I was like, every time I would start talking, they'd start the lawnmower up. I was like, oh, come on.
But that was you complaining,
that
not
was me
them.
complaining, not them. They no, they've been really good to me, man.
We have really good neighbors, though. Like really good neighbors.
The noise level coming out. I have my garage door insulated and closed, so and when the CNC is running or when the planer is running, that's the loudest things out there. But like the table saw is really not that loud. The miter saw is only short bursts. It's really not that loud. A router, like hand routing things, that's pretty loud. Just the nature of the tool. But no, short answer, no, they haven't complained yet.
We have really good neighbors,
we have
though.
excellent neighbors.
Yeah, like
we have the best neighborhood in our town.
I have to, yeah. There's not another neighborhood in this town I'd want to live in. Nothing wrong with the rest of the neighborhoods here. We just have a really good one. I love ours.
Thank you, Christian.
We
appreciate
we have very good neighbors. Loudest is the dust collector.
My dust collector's not really that loud. It's pretty well.
Our daughter's dog is the loudest thing
like
in this
jet
house.
Engine. It's like, but it does not as far as loudness goes.
My planer can wake up the dead at the cemetery by my house, PJ says.
Yeah, they can be loud.
Juan Torres says, your videos inspired us to start our woodworking business at Wentzville, Missouri. Thanks for your inspiration. God bless you and your family. Whoop, whoop. I like that.
Hey, you need a little more kick in the pants.
Mo, you know your dog's the loudest thing in this house.
Go check out my new channel, youtube.com/MattOutlaw. That's where we're posting some more personal stuff, more inspirational type stuff, like get up off your tail and go to work type stuff, and just more motivational kick in the pants.
Patrick Kerfoot says, how do you figure out your pricing? We have a video for that.
We do have a video. It's a little bit older now. So basically, I look at the market, see whatever. So if I'm going to sell a template or a cutting board or a charcuterie board, I'm going to look at the market and see what everybody else is charging and like see what's fair. And what's fair is what I'll charge, this kind of thing. So that's kind of how we do it. And that's basically what the video says.
Coda.
Long story short, we just try to price them fair.
Coda.
Small shop dust collection. Have a dust collecting. So have you seen the Dust Right separator? I've got a video. What video is that in? It's one of my videos. Sorry, I don't remember. Maybe dust collection accessories or parts you need. There's a 10-gallon dust separator from Dust Right. It works really well with a shop vac, like really well. It's not going to get the fine micron dust out of the air, so you would need like a HEPA filter in your shop vac. But other than that, like it works well. And it holds a lot. I used it on the CNC for a while before I got my big dust collector. There, Stephen Kofad's got it made right there. And I heard another guy.
Bye, Miss Cheryl.
So he says he made his neighbor's a pair of Adirondack chairs for putting up with the noise. That's a good idea, actually. Cutting board or something. Yeah, he said, hey, I appreciate y'all putting up with this. Here's your gift type thing.
Angela says, do you have an email address for subscribers?
So if we have an email list that you can join.
Clark.
Go to the website, 731woodworks.com. In about 10 or 15 seconds, a pop-up thing will come up there, and it'll say join the list. Or if you just want to email me, 731woodworks@gmail.com.
Are y'all picking on Stephanie tonight? Y'all better quit picking on her. I'm going to mute all y'all. Mr. Clark, so one more year.
Yep, she's going to hang in there one more year.
I'm doing 1 year, and then I'm coming home, Mr. Clark, so Lord willing. Mm-hmm. So it's, I've already told everyone, so it's the official word or whatever, however you say it. We've kind of made it official, told everybody. So I've prayed about it a whole lot and thought about it and talked probably everybody's ear off about it, and
yeah,
he don't agree with it, and he wants me home yesterday, and
yep.
Yeah, he doesn't want me to stay another year. I don't think that's a big secret. I think everybody kind of knows that already. So, I mean, that's not a big secret, but
I need her here.
Yep.
James Stubbs says, how did you come up with 731 Woodworks? 731 is our anniversary, July 31st.
Yep.
And that's the day we met. And then that's also the day that we got married a year later.
You want it right back up?
Super chat. Thank you, Stephanie.
Why?
Or Marion.
Why? Why did you get
All right,
down?
so if you missed the first part of the video where I showed the sign.
Stephanie got tip. It's so pretty.
Y'all go check out last week's stream. Eric
So
Roten
pretty.
and his son. They made this for us and sent it to us. You can go follow them on YouTube if you want to see how they made this. The video, the first of 3 videos on how they make this is out now on his channel. It's really cool. Go check it out. He goes through the design process, what he was thinking when he was going to put this part on the bottom, like the whole 9 yards. It's extremely detailed.
It is. Mr. Clark said it's a mistake. I got to come home now.
Yep, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm screaming, Mr. Clark. I've been trying to tell her she
I
won't listen.
know. Oh, Brandon, it is. It's really thick.
Yep.
It's really
It's like
nice.
almost
Good
2
night,
inches
PJ. Prayers
Cypress.
for you. Night Pepper 7144. Still like your name too. Random G. What a name. Love it. He says beautiful.
Beautiful. It is beautiful.
Here G. I don't know, with a name like Random G, it could be anything. I don't know if that's a he or she. It's random, y'all.
Random. Y'all have a good night.
Yep. Good night. See y'all next week.
I didn't hit the end. I'm just going to make it awkward.
Oh, he's going to make it awkward. We're just going to sit here and see how long y'all wait.
Y'all have a good night.